Hi, welcome to Inside the Studio. I'm Joanne Pollock and I'm here today with Heidi Berger, and I'm in your beautiful home studio, Heidi, in Guelph, Ontario.
Indeed you are.
Indeed I am.
And I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you very much. We've been going to do this, Heidi, for a while, and today's the day.
And I'm scared.
Oh, come on. You're not scared. It's beautiful. You know, all we have to do is look around in your space here, and we can dwell on all the beautiful work that you do and the amazing vibes that we get off of your work, which is calming and beautiful and soothing and interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
What can I say to that?
Well, I hope you're gonna say a lot, actually. So you've been an artist for about 20 years.
More than that.
More
yes.
than that. Why did you decide to become an artist?
I didn't really. In so many ways, art chose me. I was very good at drawing and everything as a child, and my parents very much supported this. When I was a teenager, they gave me lessons with an artist in Kitchener, Karl Kronbachner. And it's because of him, really, that I paint women today. Because when I first came, he had me paint spheres and cubes and get perspectives and angles right. And I was never very good at that. And he said, well, you know, once I have a model, you won't have to do this. Then we'll just work from the model. So the next time I came, he had a model. And this is Kitchener in the 50s. So the model wore a bikini he had made for her. And every time I came, he had cut the bikini a little bit smaller.
So how long did it take?
I don't remember, but it was, then she was nude, and so for 4 years all I did was sketch the model, sketch from life. So there you are. That's why I paint women today still.
Well, obviously that training served you well, wouldn't you say?
It was rather classical, actually. So yes, but I didn't decide to become an artist, really. I would have liked to, but my parents just wouldn't. This wasn't what you did. You became, I don't know, a teacher or a nurse or something like that. So I was discouraged from taking art. And then I had a free ride at the University of Waterloo as an Ontario scholar and studied German literature instead. I'm not sure my parents were any more happy about it, because it also wasn't exactly the road to fame and fortune.
Wow. Well, you got your PhD in German literature. Right?
I did, but that isn't exactly a guarantee of fame and fortune.
True. Were there any influences in your family, Heidi? Grandparents, grandmother, where that artistic gene came from?
Zero. Farmers. Farmers. All the way back. There were probably some creative people there,
I'm
but
sure.
if there were, I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it.
No.
You're an incredibly, well, first of all, you're an incredibly interesting woman, but your versatility with art is incredible. So not only are you a visual artist, you are a mosaic ceramicist. Can I say ceramicist?
Mosaic.
You paint with pastels. You do wax resist, and I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. What other art forms do you do?
Well, mostly I paint, and I tend to paint with acrylics over a collaged backgrounds, like in this painting, or even in this painting back here. Painting. I paint. I do mosaics, surfboards. I've done some sculpture over here, but I'm experimenting. I'm always experimenting. I love to use different media, but I always come back to painting people, not always women, but painting people, because to me, unless the painting has a person in it, I tend not to be very interested. So I don't do landscapes, and I don't do much still life or anything else like that.
There's incredible sensitivity to your portraiture, Heidi, and I think that it takes a special skill to be able to capture that essence in people. Would you say that that's something that you have that has come naturally to you, or is it something that you've learned over time?
I myself think about this a lot, and I wonder whether I choose my models because they set off something, some emotion in me, or whether I in fact inject my emotions into the model. And in a sense, it doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is what you bring to the painting. It's not what I put into it so much as what you take out of it. And people do seem to react to the emotion that that I put into it.
Deeply, deeply.
And that is very gratifying.
Well, you're telling a story without words.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Every painting that I do, there's a story in my head. Whether this story is the one that gets transmitted is not relevant.
Correct.
What is important is what you yourself, what is in you, the stories in you that react to the stories that I put on the canvas.
Do people tell you different stories when they look at your work?
Well, they do. I remember one case a long time ago. I did a show in the Gallery of Caribbean Art, and at that time I was still doing a lot of painting, watercolor painting behind glass, and the painting was of a girl sitting in bed reading a book, and the curtains, and outside of the curtains you saw girls, children running on a beach. Now, this painting was very special to me because it was actually a painting of me at the age of 8, sitting in bed reading a book. And it spoke very much to the fact that as a child, because we were immigrants, I was an outsider. I was always an outsider, because when you come into a new country, you don't speak the language, you are put to the margins, you are in the margin for so many reasons. Your clothes are different, your language is different, your food is different. So I very much relate, for example, to the immigrant experience and to the outsider experience. And I'm not sure quite how we got here, but it is why I tend to paint outsiders. This girl, for example, is an outsider of the situation that she sees herself in.
Beautiful.
What else? This person, she's a Mennonite, and she's painted because I collage almost every painting has a collage underpainting that is often totally obscured by the painting over the top.
Well, because your background is equally as interesting as the subjects.
Well, and that's it. Like this one, I was just going to say on this one has a map of Waterloo County in the background. And outsider, yes, Mennonite, Inuit. This is not so much outsider as, well, it's a painting of an artist in Barbados. And artists, of course, are also in their own way outsiders.
True.
But This one is interesting because it's painted on papyrus. So again, we're talking about the underpainting and then the overpainting, and how the underpainting informs what is on top.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by papyrus is
Right,
this.
right, the paper.
And it's shredded, it's all in strips, it's very rough, and it contributes to what I think is the strength of the portrait in this instance.
Definitely. So you mentioned the Gallery of Caribbean Art, Heidi. So you live in Barbados for 6 months of the year.
Correct.
And you have been going there for a long time.
A long time. For more than 40 years.
Mm.
First, just my mom had a house. My mom lived in Barbados. And first we visited her, and then after she passed away, which is now 27 years ago, we've been going down half the year.
Awesome.
And it's in many ways because I've moved so often in my life. I think I've moved something like 26 times. Barbados is in many ways home because it has never changed.
So in Barbados, you are very involved with the arts community. You teach, you are a huge advocate for the arts on the island, and you are an incredible support to the artistic community. So what is life like in the Barbados for an artist?
In what way?
In every way, are they, what do they learn from you, Heidi?
Oh, it's what I learned from them. I will show them some techniques. More than anything, I think I try to encourage creativity and to let people do their own thing. So I teach the wax resist method. I've taught encaustic. I teach composition and design, pastel, but they're just techniques. They're not. The people learn to paint by themselves, and there are an enormous number of artists, many of whom never cross my threshold as students, and there's a very vibrant arts community. What is life like? I think life for a full-time artist, and there are quite a number of those, are tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. You have to have a modest lifestyle in general. Mm-hmm. There are very few who are hugely successful financially. Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago, I started up the Artist Studio Tours Barbados, and we had our second studio tour last March, the day before the island was shut down for COVID. This year we have cancelled, but in September we're gearing up again for 2022, February and March, because the studio tours were enormously successful.
Fantastic. We
had 32 artists that opened their studios, their hearts, and their work.
Well, Heidi, your work provides such an intimate encounter with the beautiful people of Barbados, who are painted with such sensitivity, beauty, and power. We hear your message. Thank you very much for doing this today, Heidi. I wish you much continued success, both in Canada and in the beautiful island of Barbados. Thank you.